I don't have a problem with Brother Daniel Kaluuya playing Fred Hampton. I would not have had a problem with our brother Daniel Kaluuya playing Fred Hampton if he had a Pan-African mindset. But to get interviewed about police brutality against American Africans, and you're playing a hero in a movie who lost his life because he fought against police genocide. To get interviewed about police genocide in America, and you're playing my hero who fought against police genocide, and you say, why do we have to talk about this? And you say, why do we have to talk about this? Is unacceptable. I have been asked to give an updated statement on the American African tribal movement versus the Pan-African movement. The American African tribal movement versus the Pan-African movement. As you all know, we have a lot of groups out there who have decided, because they're scared of the white power structure, they're scared of the LGBT, they're scared of the rainbows, they're scared of the Latin, they're scared of the feminist movement, because they're scared of the white power structure. They have decided to target the immigrant African as their number one enemy. Let me say this again. We have some reactionary groups founded by reactionary, profit-driven Negroes with no history of street activism at all. YouTube armchair activists only have created a movement that has attracted a lot of politically uneducated black youth. And instead of taking on white supremacy, they decided to pick on the lowest man on the totem pole. That's the African immigrant. So, with that being said, I want to read this article real quick. This is from NBC News 10 days ago. And I'm going to respond to this article. NBC News 3 days ago says, 1 in 10 black people in the United States are immigrants. 1 in 10 black people in the United States are immigrants. New data finds that 1 in 10 black people in the United States are immigrants. It says, although the black immigrant population is growing, many still face challenges related to racism. Although the black immigrant population is growing, many still face challenges related to racism, criminalization, and deportation. A Pew Research Center analysis of data from the U.S. Census Bureau and the University of Minnesota found that 4.6 million black immigrants were living in the United States in 2019. 4.6 million black immigrants were living in the United States in 2019. That figure grew from about 800,000 in 1980. According to the report, 9.5 million black immigrants are expected to live in the United States by 2060. According to the report, 9.5 million black immigrants are expected to live in the United States by 2060. The black population represents all those who self-identify as black. The analysis also found the black immigrant population is projected to outpace the growth of the U.S.-born black population. Let me say that again. The analysis found that the black immigrant population is projected to outpace the growth of the U.S.-born black population. This growth is fueled by the influx of individuals migrating from Africa. In 2000, approximately 560,000 African immigrants resided in the United States. By 2019, the number had already tripled to 1.9 million. Between 2010 and 2019, 43% of African-born black immigrants settled in the United States, which was the highest share compared to other U.S. immigrant groups. Although the black immigration population is growing, many still face challenges related to racism, criminalization, deportation. Abraham Palos, the Deputy Director of Policy and Communication for the Black Alliance for Just Immigration, said his organization focuses on these three challenges while making sure immigrant communities have financial resources, food, and clothing. These resources were greatly needed during the pandemic as many black immigrants worked as essential workers in healthcare. The organization's efforts also focus on politically educating the black immigrant community on the struggles related to being a black person in the United States. He said, quote, "We fight for two things, racial justice and migrant rights. We fight for black people." Born in Sudan, he migrated to the United States with his family as a youth in the 1980s. He said the challenges black immigrants face stem from the criminal justice system. He said, "I've had cousins that have gotten deported. One cousin just got out of the detention center." Based in Brooklyn, New York, the Black Alliance for Just Immigration advocates for temporary protected status. Temporary protected status. Temporary protected status, which is granted to foreign-born individuals unable to return to their country of origin because of circumstances such as civil war or environmental disaster. According to the National Immigration Forum, the United States provides temporary protection status to more than 400,000 foreign nationals from countries including Venezuela, Sudan, and Haiti. Challenges faced by U.S.-born black Africans are also shared by black immigrants. According to the Pew Research Center, black immigrants were less likely than overall immigrants to own their own home, and 14% of black immigrants live below the poverty line in 2019, which is higher than the poverty rate among the greater U.S. population. While African immigrants contribute to the growth of the black immigrant population, the report found that Caribbean remains the most common region of birth for black immigrants. So the Caribbean, shout out to my Caribbean Africans. Shout out to my Caribbean Africans. Shout out to my Caribbean Africans. The report found that the Caribbean remains the most common region of birth for black immigrants, with Jamaica and Haiti. Shout out to my Jamaican Africans. Shout out to my Haitian Africans. Shout out to my Marcus Garvey Africans. Shout out to my Jean-Jacques Dessalines Africans. Shout out to my Marcus Garvey Africans. Shout out to my Jean-Jacques Dessalines Africans. Jamaica and Haiti remain the two largest origin countries for black immigrants in the United States. Last year, thousands of Haitian immigrants fled to the United States from Central and South America to seek asylum. Viral images taken of Haitians revealed harsh treatment by Border Patrol agents, including agents apparently carrying whips. According to the Refugee and Immigrant Center for Education and Legal Services, the U.S. consistently detained Haitians more than any other nationality. Did y'all hear that? The United States Immigration and Customs consistently detained and deported the Haitian African from America more than the African from any other country. The biggest difference between us and other immigrants is we deal with Black America. 2, we feel the full brunt of the force of the Department of Homeland Security. While many Black immigrants face these challenges, living in the United States also provides opportunities for advancement. 31% of Black immigrants 25 years old and older have a bachelor's degree or higher. 31% of Black immigrants 25 and older have a bachelor's degree or higher. In addition to advocating for temporary status, Black Alliance for Just Immigration monitors situations of Black immigrants in prison. They have 8 Freedom of Information Act requests filed in multiple detention centers throughout the South. The organization would use that information to help fight for the immigrants' release. It's difficult for Black immigrants to assimilate into the United States compared to other groups because of challenges related to being Black. It is difficult for Black immigrants to assimilate into the United States compared to other groups because of challenges related to having a Black identity. So now let me give my analysis. Now it's time for my analysis. Now it's time for the Ifatunde analysis. What is my opinion on the fact that African immigrants are becoming a major political force in the United States of America? What is DR.UMAR's opinion of the fact that African immigrants will represent 1 in 10 American Africans by the year 2060? What is my opinion? Now, the African tribal movements will see that as a problem. I see it as a possibility. The African tribal movements will see it as a problem. I see it as a possibility. First of all, let us be clear about a couple of things. And I want to make sure my immigrant Africans and my American Africans understand what I'm saying. Because I'm going to say some things that's going to piss both of you off. And I'm going to say some things that's going to support both of you. Let me say this again. I want my immigrant Africans to listen clearly, and I want my American Africans to listen clearly. I'm going to say some things that's going to piss you both off, and I'm going to say some things that both of you will enjoy. Number 1, it is no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt whatsoever between these 2 ears that it is the agenda of the American white power structure to replace American-born Africans with African immigrants. I have no doubt in my mind that there is a replacement effort underway. I have no doubt in my mind that they would rather have a Haitian African than an American African. I have no doubt in my mind they would rather have a Jamaican African than an American African. I have no doubt in my mind they would rather have a Ghanaian African or a Senegalese African or a Nigerian African than an American African. I have no doubt. They are replacing us. You already see it in Hollywood. Yes, we are being replaced by the white power structure for immigrant Africans. Does that make the Haitian African my enemy? No, it does not. The Haitian African is my brother and sister. Does it make the Jamaican African my enemy? No, it does not. The Jamaican African is my brother and sister. Does it make my Ghanaian African brother and sister my enemy? No, it don't. Does it make the Senegalese brother or sister coming over here seeking asylum my enemy? No, it does not. Does it make the Nigerian African my enemy? No, it does not. Why doesn't it? First of all, my chessboard is on the global stage, not the American stage. I'm playing on a global chessboard. I'm not playing on a regional chessboard. I'm playing on a global chessboard. I'm not playing on a regional chessboard. So my issue is not whether or not more African immigrants are coming to America. My issue is not the fact that African immigrants will be 1 in 10 American Africans by 2060. That's not my issue. That, to me, in and of itself, is not a problem. The problem is we're not organized. The problem is we have not been pan-Africanized. The problem is we are not collaborating and coordinating our efforts. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's not about how many American Africans and how many continental Africans and how many Caribbean Africans. The only question is how long are we going to let the white power structure use us against each other? How long is the continental African? How long is the American African? How long is the Caribbean African? How long is the Canadian African, the European African going to let the white power structure play us against each other? That's the question. Are there Sambos coming here from Haiti? Hell yeah, I've met some. Are there Sambos coming here from Jamaica? Hell yeah, I've met some. Are there Sambos coming here from Ghana? Hell yeah, I've met some. Are there Sambos coming here from Nigeria? Hell yeah, I've met some. Are there Sambos coming here from Senegal? Hell yeah, I met some. But that does not represent the sum total of the Senegalese people. That does not represent the sum total of the Nigerian people. That does not represent the sum total of the Ghanaian people or the Jamaican people or the Haitian people. There are 1.3 billion Africans on the mother continent. There are 1.3 billion Africans on the mother continent. There are 1.3 billion Africans on the mother continent. How can you dare chastise an entire race based off the behavior of a few of them? How can you chastise an entire race off the behavior of just a few of them? Let me give the reverse. For my American Africans in your feelings, let me give you the reverse. For my American Africans in your feelings, let me give you the reverse. I don't know if y'all know this. 90% of the black CIA undercover agents in Africa are American Africans. 90% of the undercover CIA agents in Africa are American Africans. 90% of the spies, 90% of America's spies in Africa are American African brothers and sisters. Why am I saying that? If you want to castigate all continental Africans because of a few Sambos who come to America and choose to identify with the white power structure, what if our continental brothers and sisters did the same thing to me? What if my continental brothers and sisters did the same thing to you? I'm supposed to be on my way to Liberia right now. I'm supposed to be loading a plane, boarding a plane to Liberia right now to keynote the bicentennial. But I couldn't do it because the brother wouldn't get my ticket right. You understand? But they accept me. They embrace me as one of their own. What if the continental Africans decided that all American Africans are Sambos because so many of us are letting the CIA use us to undermine Africa. What if the continental African said all American Africans were Sambos because we are letting the CIA and the FBI use us to infiltrate African countries and undermine the African countries? Do you see how this goes? This is a two-way street. What about all the undercover black CIA agents in Jamaica? What about all the undercover American African CIA agents in Haiti? What about all the blacks in the military who go to black countries to protect the rape and exploitation of African minerals? Do you get my point, American Africans? Do you get my point, American Africans? Do you get my point, American Africans? The same thing you accuse Caribbean Africans and continental Africans of doing to us when they come here, we can also be accused of being guilty of when we go there. You know how many African American millionaires are in Africa? And some of them do not give back. They don't give back. They go to Africa and open up businesses, get filthy rich, and don't do anything for the poor locals. Oh, yes. This is a two-way street. This is a two-way street. Just like America uses the African immigrant, America also uses the American African. We are all being used against one another. We are all being used against one another. We are all being used against one another. Now, to my immigrant African, I'm going to piss you off a little bit. To my immigrant African, I'm going to piss you off a little bit. That article I just read said that immigrant Africans have a hard time assimilating into American society because you are black. According to the article, immigrant Africans have a difficult time assimilating into America because they are black. Well, can I ask you a question, immigrant Africans, Caribbean Africans, continental Africans? When you come to America, do you come to the American African first, or do you go to the white man and try to build a relationship with our common oppressor? I told you I was going to piss everybody off today. I told you I was going to piss everybody off today. To my African immigrants in America, from the continent or the Caribbean, from the continent or the Caribbean, when you get here, do you come to the black organizations? Do you come to the Pan-Africanists and say, brother, my family is here? Can you help us? Can we help you? Can we work together? Or do you go straight to the white man and get you a white girl, get accepted into one of these white universities, and you act like American Africans are worse than dogs? Am I true or am I false? Am I true or am I false? I'm saying all of this because I want you to see that everybody's guilty. There ain't no victims. We are all guilty of practicing tribalism. And the crazy thing about the fact that all of us are practicing tribalism, the Caribbean African is practicing tribalism, the continental African is practicing tribalism, the American African is practicing tribalism, and then we look at each other like we're victims. No, we are victims and perpetrators. We are all victims and perpetrators. Now, why is America bringing so many immigrant Africans to America? Why is America bringing so many immigrant Africans to America? It's the same reason America uses so many American Africans as spies and agents in Africa and the Caribbean. The purpose of the continental African and the Caribbean African is to replace us. You already see it in Hollywood. You already see it in Hollywood. You already see it in Hollywood, where most American African heroes are being played by non-American Africans. But guess what? I don't have a problem with Brother Daniel Kaluuya playing Fred Hampton. I would not have had a problem with our brother Daniel Kaluuya playing Fred Hampton if he had a Pan-African mindset. But to get interviewed about police brutality against American Africans, and you're playing a hero in a movie who lost his life because he fought against police genocide. To get interviewed about police genocide in America, and you're playing my hero who fought against police genocide, and you say, why do we have to talk about this? And you say, why do we have to talk about this? Is unacceptable. I have no problem with Brother Daniel playing the role. He did a good job. But if you can't speak up for us, you don't have no business playing my hero. If I go to South Africa and play Robert Sobukwe, if I go to South Africa and play Robert Sobukwe, and I get asked by the media about the white economic exploitation of black South Africans, and I say, I don't want to talk about that. You see how much of a contradiction that is? How the hell I'm going to go to South Africa, play Steve Biko, play Chris Hani, play Shaka Kasensa Kagona, play Dinga Swayo, play Robert Sobukwe, and when somebody asks me about the fight in South Africa for equality, I say, I don't want to talk about that. I'm just an actor. No. I have no business portraying a hero if I can't speak for the struggle that the hero died for. I don't give a damn if you Daniel Kaluuya. I don't give a damn if you DrUmarJohnson. I don't care who you are. We are one people, one race, one family. We are one people, one race, one family. The point that I'm making is if you are a true Pan-Africanist, you're not concerned with how many African immigrants are coming. You're concerned with how can we organize them? How can we organize together? And for my African immigrants coming to America, you want to get a better job? You tired of the racism? You want to do something other than drive cabs and work in the healthcare industry? Organize with us. What if we united? What if the African immigrant in America, and the Caribbean immigrant in America, and the African American united under one movement? What if we united under one movement? And guess what? The African immigrant don't have to tell the white man that he's working with the American African. The Caribbean African immigrant don't have to tell the white man he's working with the American African. We don't have to let everybody know what we're doing.